Welcome back. I hope you're doing great. As a part of this video, we'll introduce you to SQL classes. What are SQL classes? Are we talking about a class of students? No, not really. We are talking about a classes in SQL. If you take a step back and recollect, why do we store the data? To perform analysis. While performing analysis, we encounter different kind of requirements, isn't it? You may want to analyze based on the age or within the region how the data is behaving. Like that, we have to analyze the data on various dimensions, right? SQL classes help us to do that. SQL classes help us to restrict and manage the data using valid constraints on the data in our databases. As I indicated, it can be age, it can be a region, it can be any valid dimension on which you are trying to analyze the data. So SQL classes help us to restrict and manage the data. So why do we need SQL classes? What are the use of the SQL classes? Let us try to understand that in a bit more detail. SQL classes allow us to apply constraints on the data. What kind of a constraints? It all depends on the project. It can be depending upon like how the buying pattern of all the people less than 20 years old. That can be a constraint. So they allow us to apply constraints on the data. They also help us to reduce the complexity of the query. Means by using the SQL classes, we'll be able to achieve what we want to achieve by reducing the complexity. With the help of the classes, we can filter the data according to our requirements. As I said, filter the data. Filter the data is nothing but we want to restrict the number of outputs we need for our analysis. We can use the SQL classes for that as well. SQL classes will help us to write the user-friendly queries, which are easy to read and also read and understand. I hope you got what are SQL classes and why do we need them. We do have different types of SQL classes. What are they? We have where class. If you are writing a SQL query without using a where class, mostly your query is not complete. Where class is an integral part of any SQL query, which allow us to apply the constraints on the query. We have order by class. So whenever we are analyzing, we want to see the results either in ascending or descending or some order you want. Order by class will explicitly decide the order of the output of our query. And we do have group by class. So within the group, you may have different regions, you may have different ages. So if you want to group the data and see how it is behaving, then we can use the group by class. What happens is we will not be able to use the where class as a part of the aggregate functions. That is when we use the having class. Excellent. We understood what are SQL classes and what are the different types of the SQL classes. We'll see them one by one in detail in the upcoming videos. Thank you.